Story Detectives, and welcome to video 3 of week 7, and the book is This Moose Belongs to Me. So this video will explain what I want you to do for your worksheets. So these should be available on your Google Classroom. If you have any problem downloading them, please let me know. So the first page, as we always have, we have our word of the week, which was compromise. So please write in the meaning. It's on the previous video if you can. It means to find a happy medium or to find a middle ground. A synonym, so a word that means the same. You could have agreement, or you could have middle ground, one of those words that we talked about before. And an antonym, something like you could have stalemate or disagreement, which means the opposite. And then try and use the word compromise in a sentence. Okay. Then on these next 2 pages, we're also looking at the vocabulary. There's a lot of words in this story that I thought you may not be fully familiar with. So can you watch video 2 to hear what all these words mean, and then see if you can draw a line to match the meaning. I shall give you an example. So we have the word ignored, and when I look down, does it mean speed? No, it didn't mean speed. Does it mean something has shocked you so much that you can't talk? No, you can't speak? No, it didn't mean that. Ignored, did it mean to give somebody something that they need? No, it didn't mean that. Was it unusually or especially? No. Was it continuing to have something? No, it didn't mean that. Was it refuse to take notice of something? Yes, if I ignored my phone, then I refused to take notice of it when it was ringing. So I would draw a line from the word ignored all the way down to the meaning here. So have a go at those. We have got, I think, 12 words. So 6 on that page and 6 on there. And see if you can match the word to the meaning. And now we have some fun activities where I would like you to have a think and use your brain and your imagination, and write in these thought bubbles here what these characters might be thinking. So you've got here, they've got the moose standing there eating an apple off the floor, and you've got Wilfred pushing the moose. What do you think the moose is thinking? What do you think Fred might be thinking? Just make a couple of notes in there. See if you can use good punctuation when you do that. But yeah, put some ideas of what you think they might be thinking. And there, this is the picture from the first page. What could be that they'd be thinking here? There's nothing really in the background, so you have to use your imagination. Come up with something that they could be thinking. And then there's 2 pictures here in the story, where they're on their trek and they've gone out to this bleak landscape here by the mountains. And there's another one here where Wilfred is using Marcel as a sort of umbrella in the rainstorm. So could they be thinking here? As I say, use your imagination. See if you could come up with something unusual that they may be thinking. And then finally, if our moose could talk, what would he say here? We've got the old lady saying, "Rodrigo, you're back." And we've got Wilfred saying, "This moose belongs to me." What do you think the moose could say if he could talk? Would he say something like, "Actually, I don't belong to either of you"? Maybe he could say, "Do you know what? Actually, I'm called Dominic, and I'm actually owned by the guy at the very end of the story." Or maybe he'd say something completely different. Now, one of the fun things with this is there's no right or wrong answers. None of us know what these characters are thinking or would be saying. So you can't get this wrong. I just want you to use your imagination. Be as creative as you can and use interesting vocabulary. Okay. And then we have some practice of our word skills. Just a short worksheet this time, looking at adjectives, plurals, and punctuation. So I just want to keep those skills fresh because we've done a lot of work on those over the last few weeks, but I'd like you to just keep them fresh so that you don't forget them. So just a quick recap on those here. And then I have some think and discuss questions. Now, if you've got somebody at home that you can talk to, perhaps you can discuss this. If you want to, you could even send me a video of your thoughts. You don't necessarily have to write anything here. You can write some notes if you like, or send me a little video of what you think when you have a discussion about this. So these questions hopefully will get you thinking. The first one says, do you think Wilfred really owned the moose? Explain your answer. And then what about finders keepers? Is it a good rule? So finders keepers is something that when I was a child we'd say if there was something like say a ball or something on the floor and nobody was around it, you might say, "Oh, look, I've got this ball here." Finders keepers, losers weepers, which would mean nobody seemed to own it, nobody was anywhere near it, so I've decided it's mine. Is that a good rule? Do you think that's fair? Because I think it's kind of what Wilfred did with the moose. He found the moose and thought, oh, I'll keep him, he's mine. But is that really the best thing to do? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You have a little think about that one. And then our word of the week was compromise, and we had the moose and Wilfred work out compromise, which wasn't really a compromise in their case because the moose just did whatever he wanted to do. But think about the word compromise and think about, have you ever compromised on anything? Often brothers and sisters need to compromise. Sometimes friends need to compromise. And sometimes you do need to compromise with your mum or your dad or your auntie or your teachers. So have a think when you may have had to compromise and see if you can tell me about that there. Again, if you want to record yourself and make a little video, you can do that too. Now, this is really good fun actually because I found out a lot about Oliver Jeffers. As I said, he's from Ireland, which is why I've chosen him for this week because on Tuesday it will be St. Patrick's Day. So Oliver Jeffers is from Northern Ireland and he's got some great videos on YouTube. One of them, he explains what he does as a picture book maker. So if you click on this link here, and I'll put this onto the Google Classroom so you can click directly on it, you'll have a little video there by Oliver Jeffers, and he will explain to you what it is he does, how he became a picture book writer. Then he's got another little video, which is quite good fun, about writing tips. If you think in the future you might want to become a writer, then he's got some great ideas to get you started on here. And this was actually my favourite. This is how to draw a moose. So even for somebody like me who really cannot draw to save her life, even I could sort of draw a moose by the time I followed his little tutorial. So click on there and I would love to see it if you could draw a moose. Maybe you could just squeeze it in here somewhere or put it on some paper somewhere. I would love to see what you came up with. And then Oliver Jeffers, apparently on Instagram. Now, I'm not actually on Instagram myself, but I've got this link from somewhere which said, basically, while the schools are off, he's volunteering to read a new story every day. So this could be something really fun for you guys to do while you're not at school. Listen to one of his stories. He's got loads of different stories. I don't know whether it's all going to be his books that he reads, but if you can link up to Instagram, please check that out and find out whether he's got stories to read each day to keep you amused. And then we've got a story map. Now, I know we've done these many times before, but they are a very good way to get you thinking about the order and the sequence of things and the arc of a story, which is the beginning, the middle and the end. So what are the characters? What was the setting? And just a little note on the beginning, the middle and the end. Now, our next activities here are, anybody can do them, but they are more designed for those of you in blue and purple who may have found the first few pages a bit tricky, but these are activities that I'm pretty sure purple and blues can do. And of course, reds, please have a go because they are fun to do and you are still learning something while you're doing these. We've got a word search with some words from the story, which hopefully will help you not only with your reading, but with your spelling. And then we have a match the word to the picture, which is just a simple exercise in reading. And then we have this wonderful picture here from the story. And I'd like you to colour that in and draw the background so you can decide where they are. Maybe they're in a city this time. Maybe they're in a mountain, like a mountain region like they are in the story. Or maybe they're by a pond. You can choose, maybe they're even in the polar ice caps or somewhere. You can choose where they are. So colour that in and draw some background. And then we've got some words that you can practice with your writing. So please trace over the dots and then write it a couple more times yourself. Please make good use of this lined paper. The little dots in the middle are really useful to help you to get your letter sizes correctly. So some letters will just sit in this area here, like the I and the S, for example. Some letters like the T and the H here, they will extend up above the dotted line to that other solid line. And then you'll have a word like discovery here, where the letter Y goes down below the line. So these lines will really help you with your letter size and the spacing. So have a go at that. And then finally we have a maze. So there we have Marcel, and he's got himself lost and he needs to get back to the woods. And I was thinking maybe if you did this in blue, it would be a little bit like the blue string that Wilfred had during the story. So that's our worksheets for this week, and I will do another video in a minute to explain the sort of answers that I was looking for. Okay, thank you, bye-bye.